2 years, I think it's safe to say that we've all been infected in one way or another by the COVID-19 virus. We've all seen just how deadly and devastating this virus has been in our communities. With that being said, this has led to the creation of COVID-19 vaccines, such as the new FDA approved vaccine Comirnaty, which was created by Pfizer and BioNTech, which are two companies that kind of come together to collaborate and create the vaccine. With that being said, the FDA did approve Comirnaty in August of 2021. Now, the creation of these vaccines have led to some very hot or debated discussions on whether or not vaccination is good or bad. As a critical care nurse for the last 11 years, I've witnessed firsthand just how devastating and deadly this virus has been, especially in our community. Um, so I feel like it's my duty or obligation to inform you with some factual evidence-based information related to Comirnaty so that you're able to make an unbiased decision on whether or not vaccination is right for you. First, I'll start off by discussing what Comirnaty is and how it works. I'll then go over some risk associated with receiving this vaccination, as well as its benefits and effectiveness against COVID-19, as well as preventative measures that you still may need to take if you do decide that vaccination is right for you. So, to get started off with, we're going to first discuss what Comirnaty is and how it works, because you have to know that in order to understand the vaccine. So, Comirnaty is an mRNA based vaccine, and according to the Mayo Foundation for Medical Education and Research article, How Do Different Types of COVID-19 Vaccines Work, published in August of 2021, an mRNA based vaccine simply teaches or instructs our body on how to create antibodies to fight a certain virus or organism off if it's ever exposed to it again. Now, with that being said, because I've heard things like, I'm going to get COVID-19 if I get the vaccine. Nope, you can't. You're not going to, because the vaccine's not a live, inactive, or weakened form of the virus. It's simply something that is instructing your body how to protect you from the virus, which would naturally occur if you were exposed to it. So, another thing I've also heard is it's going to change my DNA. Well, no, the virus can't change your DNA, because when it's teaching our bodies how to create antibodies to fight the virus off, it simply attaches or adheres itself to the outside layer of our cell. So if this is the vaccine, this is the outer layer of our cell. Our DNA is stored in the center of our cells in something called a nucleus. This vaccine never reaches our nucleus. It stays on the outside of our cells while our body's figuring out how to create antibodies to, help us in the future. So no, the COVID-19 vaccine will not change your DNA. Now that we've kind of discussed that, we're going to discuss risk factors associated with taking this vaccine. Now, like with all vaccines, we're going to have some side effects related to taking, a vaccination. Some of those, which are the most common for Comirnaty or any vaccine, would be running a low-grade fever, headaches, chills, diarrhea, feeling weak or tired, also muscle pain or soreness around the injection site. So these are all common things. If we think about it, think about your children when we carry them to the doctor. They usually tell you, hey, an hour before you guys get here, make sure you go ahead and give them some Tylenol or some Motrin and make sure they've been drinking a lot of fluids. This is the same for Comirnaty. You can kind of combat these symptoms with some Tylenol and by drinking plenty of water to, help you feel better faster. So, some other risks that could be a little more serious that has been shown to happen from Comirnaty is, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC's article, Selected Adverse Events Reported After COVID-19 Vaccination, that was published in September of 2021. One of the number one serious side effects associated with this vaccine is something called myocarditis and pericarditis. This is simply an inflammation of either the heart muscle or lining in the heart, which usually goes away on its own. There's really no serious treatment usually that you have to take to fight this. I'm not saying that's the case all the time, but usually it's, usually you get over this. Um, it's been shown out of 367 million people vaccinated, this has occurred in almost 1,500 people. It's not a very big number when we look at the millions of people that have received the vaccine. Another statistic is that the deaths that have been directly or indirectly related to COVID-19 vaccine as of September 20th have been reported to be 7,899 people out of the 367 million that received this type of vaccine. So if we're looking at in number terms, that's only 2/1000ths of a percent, which would be 0.002% of people. So it's not a very big number when we look at how many people have died because of this virus and how many of the vaccines have been given. Now, we're going to move on and finally discuss the effectiveness of Comirnaty and other precautions that are still needed even after you get the vaccine if you do decide that's what's right for you. So we all know vaccines are not 100% effective. They never will be, probably not in our day and age, unfortunately, but they are very, very good as far as helping prevent serious disease and serious illness. Um, so getting vaccinated not only helps slow the progression of the COVID-19 virus and the amount of people that pass it along, but it also helps prevent it from mutating as it is passed from person to person. Um, the mutation is what makes it even stronger, and that's how we get all these different strands that are like associated with COVID-19. So Comirnaty, according to Kathy Catella from Yale Medicine's article entitled Comparing COVID-19 Vaccines, How Are They Different?, which was published in September of 2021, Comirnaty has been shown to be 91% effective at preventing COVID-19. It's also, unfortunately, for the people that have been vaccinated, if they do get the virus, it has been shown to be 95% effective at preventing prolonged hospitalizations and death or serious illness. So those are some pretty good statistics when we think about it. So let's say you decide to get vaccinated. After you're vaccinated, you still need to take precautions such as wearing a mask, hand washing, social distancing. Um, and that's because we've just learned that vaccination is not going to be 100% effective. So even if you're vaccinated and you do happen to get the virus, you will still be able to pass it to other people, and those people might not be vaccinated. So the chance that they become seriously ill and or die is very, very high. So with all that being said, by now I hope you've had a better understanding of Comirnaty and can make an unbiased decision soon on whether or not vaccination is right for you. We discussed several angles about this vaccine, from what it is, how it works, risks, benefits, effectiveness, and precautions that are still needed even after you get the vaccination. So taking all of these things we discussed into consideration, I hope that the devastation of this virus does not befall upon you or any of your loved ones. Thanks.